I did pretty much everything that MJ did when I was a kid. I shot fadeaways before I should have. I wore a leg sleeve on my leg and folded it down so you saw the red part.
For no reason.
I wore black and red shoes with white socks. I wore short shorts so you could see my undershorts underneath. But I did everything Mike did, man. I wanted to be Mike. And so for my name to come up in any discussion with Michael Jordan and Kareem and all these great guys that has paved the way for myself and Tristan and Kev and Swish, it's just a wow factor. I don't really have nothing to say.
And you were like, you know what? I'm smarter, I'm wiser, even than I was 4 years ago. You know what? That's not for me to decide. That's for everybody else. People are always going to argue that. So like, I viewed it as a moment of maturity, right? Like, why is it that you took a step back in that moment? Not saying that you changed your mind or any of that.
Because I realized that the conversation is going to continue to happen no matter what. And it's great for the game.
Yeah.
It's great for the barbershops. It's great for the game. It's going to continue to happen. I don't know why. The one thing I don't understand is like, you never hear, the greatest quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Always talked about. You never hear like, who's the greatest quarterback, Brady or Montana. Yeah. You got Montana with 5, you got Brady with 6.
Yeah.
You used to hear the Peyton and Brady thing when they played, but, Brady started to win a lot more and things of that nature. But you never hear like every single conversation.
Even baseball. It's
baseball.
like Babe Ruth, and then people just move on.
Right. They just move on.
No more arguments.
Right.
Babe Ruth
No more arguments.
Baseball player.
Right. Exactly. So, other sports, hockey, you hear Wayne Gretzky. People move on.
You haven't heard anything said.
You move on. Wayne Gretzky is the greatest. You move on. Things of that nature. But, the conversation is going to always be had, and it's great for debates because they want to compare errors, they want to compare players and who they've seen.
The GOAT debate has been a non-stop battle for generations, with Michael Jordan's loyal believers on one side praising the ruthless icon who dominated every court he stepped on, and LeBron James supporters on the other, celebrating the statistical powerhouse who has rewritten the record books with unmatched durability. But all the noise, all the arguing, all the endless Jordan versus LeBron debates hit a sudden crossroads when LeBron himself delivered the words no analyst or former player ever could. He admitted that he modeled his game after Jordan, that he wanted to be like Mike. In that moment, the supposed rival revealed he had chased the very legend he's constantly compared to, and that single confession changed the tone of the entire conversation. The young LeBron James never pictured himself as a future king. He pictured himself as the kid chasing Michael Jordan. He copied the short shorts because Jordan wore them, laced up the black and red sneakers to feel like him, and put up awkward early fadeaways just to mirror the master, even when his body wasn't built for it yet. And despite 2 decades at the peak of the sport, LeBron still wouldn't declare himself the GOAT, brushing it off as barbershop chatter and insisting that simply being mentioned alongside Jordan was already an honor. That's the real twist, because even LeBron recognizes the gap. Jordan wasn't just another superstar. He was the original design, the standard no one has ever been able to duplicate. He didn't just play the game. He reshaped it, turning every dunk, fadeaway, and pull-up into something almost sacred, the kind of impact opponents couldn't prepare for, only hope to survive. Opponents didn't prepare for Jordan as much as they prepared not to break under the weight of his presence, because when he stepped on the court, it felt like a storm had arrived. That same force is why Kobe studied him frame by frame, and why LeBron openly admitted he copied Jordan's look, his rhythm, even his swagger. But imitation, no matter how precise, is still imitation. Kobe matched his skill closest, LeBron matched his influence, yet neither could capture that chilling edge, Jordan's unmatched killer aura. His reach went far beyond scoring and trophies, from the dream team to the global rise of the Air Jordan empire, from unforgettable highlights to a flawless 6-ring legacy. He didn't just elevate basketball, he became its identity. And when LeBron, the only true rival in the GOAT debate, confessed, "I wanted to be Mike," the entire argument took a blow that may never fully heal. Jordan's greatness operates on layers. Starting with his technical mastery, from the explosive first step and impossible hang time to the fadeaway packed with endless counters and the defense that flipped into fast break offense, a skill set so sharp it became the sport's instruction manual. Then comes the psychological warfare, where Jordan didn't just compete. He mentally dismantled opponents with a glare, a calm dribble, and the feeling that the ending was already written before tip-off, leaving players doubting themselves long before he delivered the final dagger. And finally, there's the aesthetic aura, the rare kind of greatness that looked as stunning as it was dominant. The tongue out, the palm control, the physics-defying flights that turned the Jumpman symbol into something close to myth. What makes it even more striking is that every time LeBron laced up the red and black sneakers, adjusted his leg sleeve, or leaned into a fadeaway, it wasn't coincidence. It was the undeniable pull of Jordan's gravitational force. Jordan's original design simply couldn't be topped. And from that foundation came one of the most unforgiving resumes in sports. 6 finals appearances, 6 championships, 6 finals MVPs. Perfect not by luck, but by inevitability. Add 10 scoring titles, 5 MVPs, and a Defensive Player of the Year award, and his record doesn't read like achievements. It reads like a rulebook carved into stone. That's the separation point. Jordan didn't just win, he made victory feel predetermined. Even Kobe admitted Jordan carried something unreachable, while LeBron's size, stats, and influence, though extraordinary, never created that same sense of certainty. People admire LeBron, they submitted to Jordan. That's a gap no metric can bridge. Jordan created the template for the modern dominant wing: spacing, tempo, pick and roll, isolation. He wasn't copying a style, he was inventing one. Everyone after him, LeBron included, built greatness using the structure Jordan established. And that's why LeBron's own admission carries more weight than any number ever will. LeBron said it himself. I wanted to be Mike, and he lived it every step of the way, which is why the truth is already cemented in history. He's not the successor who replaced Jordan. He's Jordan's greatest pupil, and no matter how historic his numbers become, the base of his greatness still sits on Jordan's foundation. LeBron is the statistical giant, the stack GOAT, with absurd milestones like becoming the all-time scoring leader, ranking top 5 in assists and rebounds, and logging more playoff minutes than anyone ever. His resume feels unbeatable, especially to fans who never watched Jordan dominate in real time. But greatness isn't calculated on a scoreboard, it's defined by moments. And when the pressure peaks, when everything comes down to a single possession, that's where Jordan and LeBron diverge. Jordan was the cold-blooded closer: 6 finals, 6 rings, 6 finals MVPs, every big shot delivered from pure instinct, not hope. LeBron, on the other hand, often trusted his teammates, spread the responsibility, and played the game with shared decision-making instead of that singular, inevitable kill switch. Admirable? Absolutely. Respectable? Without a doubt. But empathy doesn't intimidate, and in the arena of the GOAT debate, intimidation is everything. The true GOAT makes opponents quake, knowing the final blow will come from him and him alone. Jordan bred fear, LeBron inspired hope. One is inevitability, the other possibility. History favors the killers, not the caretakers. It's psychology and aura that draw the line. Jordan didn't just motivate, he weaponized terror. Even legends like Reggie Miller and Charles Barkley confessed it. There were no cracks to exploit, no escape from his dominance. A single glance, a stance, and the verdict was sealed. LeBron, by contrast, commands respect. He's the ultimate leader, the teammate who lifts everyone around him, the man who embodies excellence. But respect doesn't make legends sweat. Fear does. Fear makes opponents yield before the game even starts. That's why Jordan's presence is untouchable. LeBron's gaze earns nods of respect. Jordan's stare made players crumble. That gap is what separates immortals from legends. And in the end, it wasn't analysts or debates that settled the argument. It was LeBron himself. He admitted, I wanted to be Mike, not equal, not above, simply chasing the original. Even after 2 decades of record-breaking dominance, he insisted that being mentioned alongside Jordan was honor enough. That statement alone seals it. When the supposed rival confesses the throne was never his, the story writes itself. Michael Jordan doesn't need defenders. The proof came from the man who pursued him the hardest. LeBron said it with his own words, Jordan is the GOAT. And here's where the generational divide shows. Younger fans know only LeBron's stats, but the legend of Jordan's dominance, fear, and aura remains untouchable. They never experienced the fear Jordan carried into every arena. That's why some crown LeBron, because they never faced 23 at his peak. But history has a way of setting things straight. Numbers fade, legends blur, but the truth endures. New generations watch Jordan's highlights, hear the stories, and understand that fear outweighs statistics every time. His dominance wasn't confined to an era. It transcends them, because greatness built on inevitability never expires. LeBron will be remembered as the statistical titan, the Iron King of longevity, yet his journey began with the same confession. I wanted to be Mike. That's why Jordan isn't just a GOAT. He's the killer GOAT, the original, the shadow no one, not even LeBron, could escape. So here's the question. In the end, who matters more? The stat goat who amassed records, or the killer goat who made victory feel unavoidable? Share your thoughts, because this debate is far from over.